This presentation is brought to you by fourth-year Langara nursing students. Domestic violence against immigrant women is real, is happening, and needs to stop. Domestic violence is a human rights and societal health issue. Immigrant women are a potentially marginalized population. Increased public awareness about violence against immigrant women is the first step for societal change. For Gurjit Guman, an immigrant to BC, verbal abuse was a constant part of her marriage. In 2006, after 18 years of marriage, she asked for a divorce. That's when the situation got worse. In July that year, her husband strangled her and 3 months later shot her twice in the head. She survived but lost her vision. In 2003, 17-year-old Amandeep Singh Atwal was stabbed to death by her father because he was ashamed that she wanted to date a non-Sikh classmate. He killed her to redeem the family's honor. This is just one example of an honor killing. Between 2002 and 2010, at least 12 women have been victims of honor killings in Canada. You may think that domestic violence does not exist within your community. However, the truth is, violence against women occurs across all cultures and socioeconomic groups. On the other hand, you may be already too familiar with the reality of abuse. If you are suffering from domestic violence, you are not alone. Domestic violence is a social and legal concept that refers to any abuse that takes place among people living in the same household. Abuse can be verbal, physical, psychological, emotional, financial, and/or sexual. Domestic violence among immigrant women is a growing human rights and societal health issue. Violence against immigrant women is a real issue. Women born in developing countries who immigrated to Canada have the highest rates of domestic violence. 40% of violent crimes charged in 2008 were situations where women were victims of domestic violence. 51% of Canadian women report experiencing at least one incident of violence since the age of 16. In 2004, 70% of assailants were relatives or acquaintances. Statistics show that only 6 to 10% of sexual assaults are reported, meaning many cases are never reported. Immigrant women are victims of domestic violence due to risk factors such as being female in a male-dominated culture, varying cultural perceptions of women's rights, the high stress of the immigration experience, and being socially isolated. Domestic violence affects immigrant women in every area of their lives. Physical injuries can lead to long-term disabilities or even death. Domestic violence often leads to depression, anxiety, sleep disturbances, and sometimes suicidal and substance use issues. Violence creates lowered self-esteem and decreases family stability. The effects of domestic violence on immigrant women is magnified due to fear of seeking assistance and reporting violence. Immigrant women may face fear of deportation, loss of sponsorship, language barriers, fear of shame, and fear of being cut off from the family of whom she is dependent. Immigrant women face very unique barriers to seeking help and breaking free from abuse. Women who are experiencing domestic violence need to know that it's not their fault and that there is help available. In order to get help, it is essential for immigrant women to know the truth about their legal rights and services that exist to help them. According to Canadian law, landed immigrants and permanent residents have the same rights as a Canadian citizen and will not be deported for reporting violence. Immigrants currently being sponsored by an abusive partner or family member are advised to seek legal advice before taking further action. If you or someone you know is an immigrant woman suffering from domestic violence, help is available. There are many organizations that can offer counseling, legal advice, and referrals to community resources for women who have immigrated. Do not hesitate to get help. You are not alone. Mosaic is a non-profit organization offering services in multiple languages. Mosaic aims to empower immigrants through leadership, innovation, and community building. Mosaic offers stopping the violence counseling, information on legal rights and the court system, and networking with other community resources. Immigrant Women's Services Ottawa helps immigrant women to attain their full potential. It provides culturally relevant crisis counseling, which includes developing a safety plan for escape. Counselors help women cope with abuse-related emotions such as confusion, pain, anger, and stress. The South Asian Women's Center is a space for South Asian women to work collectively for social change. The center offers specific services for immigration support, assistance in acquiring job training, family counseling, and domestic violence counseling. The center is located in Richmond, British Columbia. Women Against Violence Against Women is a Vancouver-based program that is aimed at eradicating all forms of violence against women. This organization helps women gain coping skills and develop a positive sense of self. It also offers a 24-hour crisis line. Vancouver Rape Relief and Women's Shelter is a shelter for women to temporarily escape the violent men in their lives. This program campaigns for better police response to violence against women, funding for women's groups, and advocates for a guaranteed livable income for women. This program also offers a 24-hour crisis line. Violence against immigrant women is a real issue. If you're an immigrant woman directly affected by violence, please seek assistance. If you know someone who is directly affected, please let them know that help is available. Together, we can eliminate violence. These are our lives to fight for.